custom configuration here for. Well, I guess one thing to do here is like, yeah, this seems to be like it's a style thing rather than giving us higher level stuff. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to, David? Do you want to be looking at the config options, or you want to just turn it off for the moment?
Yeah, I'd like to turn it off for the moment and then come back to it when we.
Okay.
Maybe add a chore to come back to it.
All right. But John, you found the hound thing, did you?
I found it. I didn't try it until just now.
Sure.
So.
I mean, I think it looks. What I would love it to do is just send us a pull request with the changes, and you could just like merge the pull request. But sort of like 60 comments, which then I get 60 emails, like on all of those individual points. It's.
I just found a tweet that Myron Marston was hating on Hound.
Oh yeah.
He's the guy. He's one of the big RSpec guys.
Yeah.
But it's free. If you don't like it, turn it off or fork it or send them a pull request.
Yeah.
And I like 80% of what it suggests, but I don't like everybody in the project getting 60 emails.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah. Anyway.
Is there a way to have it ignore like white space issues?
Yeah, there is. I mean, that config thing that I will just now that I put in the chore and I'll put here. It seems like we can have like a .hound YAML in our repository, which will configure which style things it's handling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you, John? Did you? I see it's turned on for Cordelia certificates on website 1. Should we turn it off before Thomas and Pete are kind of subjected to the same inverted quotes abuse?
I am not the one to ask on that.
Well, who turned it on? I mean, did
Thomas did.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, if Thomas turned it on, he can turn it off, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Stay here.
So, sorry. You're right. Boom, 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 boom. So, right, in the background, I think I'm going to work on Vagrant in order to try and deal with this Travis breaking. John, I pulled in Azza's feature request, or the feature pull request. I made some cleanup changes there, merged that into your big pages, page controller spec refactoring. And I also did sort of like an experimental. You were asking last week about, the checking the thing is restricted, over and over again through that. You know what I'm talking about? And
vaguely.
Yeah, let me get you to the code in it all. So if I do git checkout Sam git branch. Oh no, right. I was getting confused myself again between different versions of the thing. Git checkout Sam. Here we go. This is the one. I'm not sure if I've pushed this to my repo. You just going to check that out? Oh, it is there. Right. If I go and look at, I don't know who's controlling the broadcast or what's going, but anyway. But I did this code here. Can you see that?
I am looking at it. Yep. Okay. Self.sam request to symbol action ID to. Nice.
So what I did was I kind of pulled. Basically there was a pattern there.
Create and update require extra. Yeah, this is more or less what I'm going for, though.
I mean, I think it's a little bit hacky in as much as normally the get these get operations. Well, at least the index wouldn't have an ID passed to it, but it still matches the correct path, and this basically checks for the set. I mean, it could be neater. Like this could be, a constant that was pulled out somewhere, which would be the list of things about, these things should be. I mean, one could even be automatically extracting that from the file itself. Anyway, I just sort of, as I was doing, suffering the effects of the train strike this morning, I kind of was like, oh yeah, we could pull that out like that.
Cool.
I don't know.
That's do you want me to show you what I've done with that same idea?
Sure.
Go on though. It's going to take me a couple of minutes to get it pulled up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've done this a few times with wrapping, loops around the it things. There's the other thing that you can do here, which is like, I don't know if it's like approved RSpec behavior. Probably someone will come along and tell me that I shouldn't be doing it at some point. But yeah, so one could be doing like this to make the so action.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, like so. But that sort of dries out the spec a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I've got it pulled up. It's still, the main thing that's blocking me on this is my inability to do object-oriented programming in Ruby.
Okay.
So I basically look at this pre-existing collection of routes, which I don't actually have on my screen. I suppose I'll flip to it.
But no,
I mean,
that's what I was just thinking is the extension of this is that you could be grabbing rather. I mean, here I've hand coded the things you could.
Right.
Although the thing here is that the interesting thing, this confused me actually momentarily for the page. Oh, we've got spec there and that one, and where is page control gone? I don't know. But the page control, everything is restricted except the show option.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that we want to check that this is true for all of the routes. It's for a subset of the routes.
Right. And it's actually not too hard to, if we build a little bit of hollow structure, to have like a custom method called only, which would, and you pass in the one that you want.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I was playing with, but it's sort of like...
Go on.
Yeah. So this is how it would look like starting on line 70 here, with calling it out of your Rails application. There's this that's actually also known as @routes, but rails.application.routes.routes, and it goes through everything that it has
every
from
possible
your
combination and checks that they fail in the appropriate fashion.
Right. Well, I mean, first you have to find the ones that are associated with the controller. So I have, you passing in pages controller, and I do this sort of hacky thing where I just parse out the word page and downcase it.
Okay.
But, it's sort of like a complex thing where a lot of the good information's in like all these different places, like route.defaults is a hash that has a controller name in it and the action name. And then there's route.verb, but it's actually like a regex, and it's uppercase, so I need to pull it out of a regex into a string and downcase it. And then there's this thing where, certain routes have an ID in it, and that part is listed in another hash somewhere. And so for all the ones that need IDs, I can pull that out. And so I'm trying to figure out what's the right level of complexity. I've done it with a class, and right here I'm just doing it with a method where I pull it out into a really flat hash.
Yeah. I mean,
the
when I look at
tricky
something
thing
like,
is,
oh, go on.
yeah, just to finish what I was going to say, the tricky thing is I started using shared examples, and the thing with RSpec is that you're in two scopes. Before you get into the it block, you're in this other scope that doesn't have access to what you've set up in your lets and your before each blocks and stuff like that. So there's this tricky part where I can set up all this information where it's pulling bits and pieces out of my routes, but I can't I can't make that information with a given organization, or sorry, page, not to switch examples on you, like a given object, until I get inside an it block. Because my goal is to get inside an it block and then pass in the page object, the instance that I'm using, so that it can parse out the ID number of that, so that it can actually call that ID number for the show and like make sure it gets there. Because I'm doing this in a request spec instead of a controller spec, so I'm trying to do this more at a higher level. And then also, like for create an update, it could pull out certain attributes from the object that you sort of have pre-configured and use that to like create an update, you know, appropriately. You're going to have to specify the ones that are allowed for mass assignment, and that way it actually steps through it. But yeah, that's about as far as I got.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, when I look at things like that, it feels like maybe some of the stuff that you're building there is maybe already out there. In that, you know, there's a danger of reinventing the wheel. And also, I guess it feels like there's, I mean, you know, obviously one wants to refactor test suites and so on. I think there's almost a danger of over-automation there. I mean, at least in this, the high-level goal here is just to be able to look for all of the existing routes, right, and then do the same thing on those.
Yep.
And I think that there's an extent to which, if the spec becomes to rely too tightly on, you know, the actual underlying app code, the problem is that, for example, if you removed a route from the underlying app code, then it would also get removed from the automated check of that thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a degree of value in how, like here, at least at the level of the pages controller, like I've got it, there's a degree of value in specifying these are like, you don't want it so dry that the, you know, when the part of the app code gets removed, the tests associated with it also gets removed.
Yeah. I would imagine like if this was something we do at the request spec level, we would still have stuff on the controller unit test level that would be calling get index explicitly, and so if you removed index by accident, that would go red. I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's more. I mean, you know, all these things are matters of degree. I mean, I guess it sounds like where you are is you're thinking to refactor this functionality completely out into the request specs. Is that where you're going?
Well, yeah. I mean, I see little to-dos and comments in some of your older cucumbers that says exactly what I'm thinking. You know, this should be pulled out into an integration test.
Sure.
And I'm not in any hurry. I'm only going to do it once I'm really, really satisfied with it. You know, it's not terrible the way it is now.
No.
And there is this sort of middle ground that we can go with. You know, one thing that I might refactor in my top pull request is that, like, it's the thing we were discussing at the top of the diff. You know, furtively edit. I changed that language back into the bare bones language. I might actually go back in there and write a wrapper, you know, because you can do this anytime you want in Cucumber. Yeah, you have this step, but for this specific scenario, you might want to word it differently, and so you write a step just to wrap that other step.
Sure.
I don't want to take out the business logic descriptive language where you're saying, like, when I furtively edit this, you know, I get rejected, you know. And anyway, there's a tool that called Turnip. That's like a knockoff of Cucumber that just runs purely in RSpec, but it uses a Gherkin syntax to run a bunch of RSpec. And maybe that would be the right level to do this sort of integration stuff on. I'm not sure.
But no, I think it's an interesting conversation. I'm tempted to. I think I'm going to put refactoring to one side because I think I've got serious issues on the DevOps thing. I guess the question partly is for Marion and David. I think you're doing stuff in the background. What's the most efficient use of all of our time? I mean, so David, are you you're working on getting that migration going through?
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to maybe actually? I think that would be
it with TDD. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe do you want to focus on doing that, and John and Marianne could maybe give you, unless John and Marianne have got particular things that they want to work on, I think us supporting you to get that done might be a good use of our time. And unless, of course, I mean, I could sort of stay here and just support David and John and Marianne. You want to go off and pair on something else, or what are you thinking?
I can work with David.
Yeah.
I have a
Go on.
question for everybody though. So with the map thing, which I said was almost finished yesterday,
Yes.
and kind of is, but
Sorry, and the map thing, you mean the not the full width map, you mean just having maps available for the volunteer thing?
yeah.
Yes, right.
So the thing is that we decided not to add any address information to the volunteer model to start with,
Right.
and to rely on the location of the organization. Which I think maybe is not ultimately what we want, because it's not that uncommon to have an organization place a volunteer in a different location.
Yes, although I think what we came down with the client was saying that we would, in the first instance, that they would want to put that information in the in the description field.
Okay, and so on the map you would want to see the.
I think in the first instance, just in the first instance we would just be, linking it to the organization location.
Okay, all right, that's the way it is now. So
yeah, I think that's. I mean, it may well not be what we want in the longer term, but I think particularly for this feature that we're kind of throwing in pro bono, then we're sensibly not tying ourselves in knots over that. I mean, I think there's sort of maybe a shakeout period now where now that I've had a chance to talk to Steve and get more input from him about what's important to him, and I can take that back to Rachel, and we can kind of the many different things we can do, work out what the what's going to be the most effective prioritization order, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Good.
All right. So should we?
Well, I think
hangout or.
No. You I think you started this hangout, Marianne. So
yeah.
you, David. I guess, John, are you? What's your poison at the moment? Would you like to stay with David and Marianne, or do you want to create a new hangout and I'll join you there and I can be around for you as you work on something else while I do DevOps in the background, or?
Yeah, maybe we should split up just so that we don't interrupt each other with our conversations.
Yeah, that seems like it sounds like all of us have got some time now that we can put in. So yeah, all right, John, if you want to set up a new hangout, I'll maybe join you there.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Okay.
Can I make little helper methods in RSpec just by defining them at somewhere in the file?
I don't know, John. Where do we put our RSpec helper methods?
This is a spec helper. John's gone, but
yeah, there is a spec helper, but I only want them for this file. So
well, in the first instance, just put it at the bottom of the file.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. I'll catch up with you guys later.
Okay. So, there's an application helper spec and volunteer ops helper. Yeah.
In specs, do we normally use the bang kind of create, or so that we error out, or do we use the? I think we do. I wouldn't mind. That's not bad.
Yeah, I've seen it both ways.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do we normally
it's
write
three.
migration specs?
This
Or
is the first
something
one
new? Okay.
we've had in local support,
Okay.
but because this migration have some custom functionality. The other thing is you don't need to keep them around, because once your schema is right and you're creating, it's only for use. You only need a migration spec. Well, I guess if you throw away your migration, you throw away the spec. But I suppose until then, you keep the spec. So, yeah.
Well,
because migrations only have a certain lifetime, don't they?
no, not
even though we keep
really.
them around.
Because the idea of the migration is that you can recreate everything that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
So you could start from scratch, run with an empty database, and run DB migrate.
Yeah.
But,
although a lot of people just recommend that you don't. That you
really?
run DB create, which creates it from the schema.rb,
Oh,
or
okay. Yeah.
which runs some SQL that was written from doing DB migrate. So migration should only be used for just adding a couple of columns or tables at a time.
Okay.
At least that's what's in the Rails documentation. Oh, I want to look what's in production. What production call their 404 page? Because production's 404 page that works a bit differently than on my. No, here we go. That's not the custom one. Misspelled. We're sorry we couldn't find the page you requested. Is that a custom page, or is that?
Oh no.
The built-in rail? I don't know either. Right. There's not much I can do about it. I'm not working on that feature, and I can't get into production to see what they actually have in their database. Yeah, I'm going to get told off by Hound for having an extra line there. But that can be customized. Or you can tell me not to put extra lines in the end of my files, and I'll stop doing it.
Maybe I'll just send you an email every time you do it.
Right. Right, seeding some pages. So, right. And I'm expecting that when I do the migration, those pages will all be hidden, which is kind of inconvenient.
Yeah.
2 examples, one failure. No, I managed to get Postgres to get cross with me. Column does not exist at line 48.
Oh.
Right. No, it doesn't exist. So. Oh.
Which column?
It's the link visible column. But what I'm trying to do is to do migration down. I guess migration down doesn't. Maybe I need to do. Oh, this is funny. That was from the model code I pinched. I suspect that that's not. Yeah, probably want to do something like that. That doesn't seem to be I was obviously running that before, so it's not relevant to that test, so I'll delete it. But here, I wonder if, I don't know, reluctant to delete stuff even though it's probably I want to run this before I do the seeding. Right. I'm not sure what reset column information does, but it's tidied up my results. Expected true got nil, and presumably it go through all three pages and get nil, so that's good. So I can fix this and say defaults 1. Not 1. True. We can probably ping this to figure out how to change branches while I have already started editing stuff. Do you know how to do
You
that?
have to do a stash or
Yeah.
commit.
That's alright, I can do a stash.
Yeah, just git stash.
Right, so that passed. I guess I'll make a test code.
Your screen.
Oh, did I forget to share it?
No, I see your screen. It's just not doing anything.
My screen's not moving? Or maybe if I disconnect.
Oh, wait a minute.
Or
Now I see my screen on your screen.
right, so maybe you just need some time. I'm
Now it's
using really
going,
small
okay.
text. Do you want bigger text?
It would be better, yeah, I think. If it's not a hassle.
No, it's not a hassle. Yeah. So, big enough?
Yeah.
Right. So, I've got a default to make that true. So, the next feature, I can do a commit for now, then break off the branch. Get branch, and I'll call it, I don't know. Is that too long? Yeah. So the next feature that, or the one more feature that I wanted to add is, because that's all it does is it clears link um, to the page. Again, is it? I guess it doesn't test to see if it exists. If it exists.
What happens if it doesn't exist?
I guess it should
dies.
just silently fail. And it just should just carry on with what it's doing. It shouldn't die. Because I'm guessing that if people haven't run the migration, or if they've been messing with editing the pages on their own, let's see, it's RakeDB pages. Pages, where is it? Where would it be? Where would it?
Where
Got
are you looking
schema and there's a rake command where you can do rake DB pages, but I don't know where that script is.
Tasks, I think.
Okay.
Live tasks.
What folder will it be in? Live. Oh, live task.
Yeah, so we have a lot. I think that's C2. No, let's see.
Yeah. So this one has a 404. Yeah. Oh, there's a nice clue as to how to tell if it exists.
Uh-huh.
Because I can just do
yeah,
unless.
look, and there's your 404 message. We're sorry.
We'll do this thing again. Seats and pages. So if it exists, I wonder what an expectation would be. It does it silently succeeds. Oh, it doesn't. Care if 404 does not exist. Right. Need to do this and then page find by permalink 404. Expect.
What do you mean by hides the link?
It makes this. It makes that column false.
Oh, okay.
comma, link visible. Oh. Yeah, I could probably say not to be link visible, but it would be bad English, wouldn't it? I suggest that my name of the column isn't quite right, but
Link visible is okay, I think.
yeah, it's just if you just if you say is link visible, yeah, most of the time it works out English like. Now and again it doesn't.
It's robot language. Or
Yeah. What have I done here? Oh, that's all I've done. All right. Okay. So I've got one failure. Yeah, I've got it false and it's true. Would you like me to ping that over to you?
sure. And its branch is
It's called visible migration. Okay, push. I haven't committed yet. Let's see. Oh. Right. Yeah, that should be there now in my repo if you fetch it again.
and the name of
Assuming,
the
you've got
branch.
stuff to stash there, haven't you, Marion, before you do it?
Yeah. I'm trying to decide if I should even just. I just did it actually.
There's a new. There's that new model spec that you're working on as well. That's correct. That'll still be there when you go back to your branch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think I was thinking trying to do what we were talking about yesterday, but it looks like
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
doing
Yeah,
that anyway.
put it in the chores. Yeah.
And what's your branch?
It's called
Link visible migration.
Yeah, link visible migration. Yeah.
No. Just type that in.
It doesn't have the word. Doesn't have name in it unless you're.
What am I doing? Oh.
That's. I mean, that's if you want to. Yeah.
I this is going to be fine. Okay.
This is new folder here, migrations.
Alright, so expect that's a link to the 404 page again. It exists. Oh, it's pending. Oh. It hides the link to the 404, so page reset.
I'll go get the docs to reset column information because we're kind of flying blind on that. Okay, I'll put that in the chat.
Hope I can get it. Put it down. Turn the screen share.
Oh, I get it, yeah.
Is this what the migration had in it so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not interesting yet.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what default did. That's why I wanted to write a spec for it.
Yeah.
But I think it actually means if you go create new stuff and you don't specify that column, it makes it true anyway.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go into the console and find out, right? That's
yeah.
I remember seeing that in the videos, but I didn't actually do that myself ever.
Oh, I've done it. Okay. So you want to? So you're using reset column information. So it passed the spec on line 39.
Pass the spec on line 13.
Makes link visible true by default.
Yeah. It shouldn't be fill 7.
And what is this seed some pages? Is that your
That's
helper
right at the
method?
bottom of the file I've got where I set up Maybe I should have put. Oh, I didn't put that in a before block because I didn't want it in every example. But
Okay.
I guess the other way is to make some nested examples.
So do we want the link, we want the 404 to not be visible by default?
That's right. Yeah, we don't want a link to it.
Okay. Pages.
Oh. Hmm. It's I've I just realised the way I've written the specs. They're mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need refactoring. That's terrible.
Okay.
I'm thinking of them like Fortran. You write things one after the other. You don't reset stuff and then start all over again, just by
All right.
going on to the next line. Yeah.
I mean, we almost want. Do we want a hash of true false to see them, or do we want
Yeah,
to
that
just?
sounds quite nice. Yeah, a hash of true false would be quite nice. Did you say to seed them? Oh, yeah, no,
Well,
I
create
seed them
them.
after the down migration, so there is no column to seed. There is no link visible column in there. But yeah, we need the tests. I think we just need to combine test the tests at 39 and 44 and say, well, let's look for these two truths and one false.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't need my seeds on pages. I'm only using it once.
Yeah, but I mean in the migration itself. All right, so we can fix the spec so that it says one string,
Mm-hmm.
But in here, are we going to do the create actually in the migration?
No, we're going to do the create, but we might do a if it exists, then set the flag, clear the flag. The reason is that can I show you my pull request.
Sure.
This might not be the best way of showing it, but right at the top, above all these notes about style, is right. So this adds a checkbox that you've seen many times before. When you run the migration, all your links are hidden. So I fixed this bit already. But then you want to go in and manually hide the 404 link, which you can do, but it seems nice to me that whenever a developer does this migration, that they don't find their application changed on them. It's something they have to fix, that they're not even not even a feature that they're working on at the time. And of course, Sam would have to do it in the production database as well. So if we
It should be in the migration.
if we automate this step in the migration, then I don't need to tell people to do it in the pull request, where they might not even read it.
Yeah. No, that's risky. Okay, now I get it. So this guy. So this is just adding a column that defaults to true, but we actually want to go in the migration and create the true false. And do that, like this guy's creating things in the migration.
Yeah, in the up. Yes, he's
Okay.
creating things. He's setting things. Yeah, he's job level dot create. Yeah, but he's creating things in the migration because he's creating a new table. All we're doing is adding a column, so we're just setting a value in the column.
Yeah, right. Okay. So let's see. So I'm just going to put this here for now so we can say visibility. About so page ball each do. So we have to figure out a way to send. Let me go back to some of the RSpec method where we send expectations.
To who?
To the example. Like, let me see.
All right, make it. We could just write out the 3 cases.
Yeah. I know where this is actually in. features. So expectation method.
Oh. Right.
Not to or to. Expect page send expectation method have link. But I mean, this is, we already have true and false.
Mm-hmm. Right, instead of page all.each and that block, why don't we just have page find by permalink like we have in line 48, but just have it for about and disclaimer.
But I think that if we do it with the hash, we don't need to do it twice.
Yeah, if we do it with the hash, yeah.
Two.
Can you show me what you mean?
Oh, no, I think, yeah, leave page.each do. Page.all.each. Something like this. To be p dot. Can I do p dot permalink?
Yeah.
P.link visible to equal, and this would be either true or false. I'm not sure if it'll work like that.
Oh, yeah, that sounds nice. Yes. So you just right. This hash of expected answers. Yeah.
And then we wouldn't need, if this worked, we wouldn't need the next.
Yeah, we wouldn't need line by line examples or expectations.
Yeah.
So you designed that a cucumber step.
Sorry, what was the question?
You designed that style of test for a cucumber
I did not.
step definition.
I don't think I did. I think it was maybe Michael. I don't know. It's been there for a long time. This is sending, so you can put either it has or it does not have on the page. Expected, false class, false, gotcha. I guess it's doing something.
Seems to be doing the right thing. Does it tell you what it's doing?
It failed on permalink, but it failed on permalink because permalink is not invisible. Right? We didn't do that yet.
No, that's right. It's not invisible. So does it tell you which? Oh, it does. Yeah. Good.
So we can take.
Oh yeah.
This out.
So we need to delete that example. The other example is passing, and I'm a bit puzzled by why.
Which one?
Is line 44 passing?
No.
No.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm confused now. This is okay like this, just with an it and nothing.
Yeah, that's a way of marking it pending.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me try this again. Oh my goodness.
I guess it's shorthand for pending.
Wait a minute. What have I done?
I don't know, I didn't see you change anything there.
Okay, so it did not take this.
Hang on, that's
Oh.
before the...
You can't have a symbol that starts with a number.
Ah, no, you can't. There has to be strings, and I don't think you can use strings with this JSON format. So yeah, we need hash rocket.
Good, I
I
like
think
those
we need
better
hash rocket.
anyway.
Yeah. Pardon?
I like those better anyway.
Yeah. I thought it was just me being a bit slightly allergic to JavaScript.
Mhm. Talking about. Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I did not save the file before. And that's why it did what it did.
Mm.
Hard as that maybe is to believe, I think that might have actually happened. Okay, so now it's failing on. This is 44. Expected false got true, so that looks like it might be right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same thing in the next test.
Yeah.
I think. All right, so I'm going to take this out for now or comment it out maybe.
No, I think we're gone. 46 to 50 is... I think we know that that's not necessary.
So do you want me to try to fix the migration, or you want me to pass it back?
Pardon?
You want me to pass it back to you now, or?
It's up to you. I trust you to either make it pass or send it back to me if you hit a roadblock.
Okay. So we have to do. And are we going to hard code, or we can actually just take the same hash, right?
We only need to do something about 404, in my opinion.
That's true. That's true.
The others are already, if the others exist, and there'll be more pages than our examples in real life. If the others exist, then they just stay true. as usual, it was harder to write our test than to write the code.
And I can do update attributes.
Does that save automatically?
I'm not sure. Does it?
That just doesn't mass update. I think it probably does. Yeah, that will work.
Do I need an exclamation point on update attributes?
What's going to work nicer? So if it's got an exclamation point, it raises an error. If it hasn't got an exclamation point, you have to check the exit status and do something. I guess it depends what the error is.
I'll try it like that, see what happens. Well, we're not going to get an error.
No,
Oh,
think it's
I shouldn't say that.
I don't think it's important enough to raise an error. But, it's hard to put myself in the shoes of the production, someone running it on a production database.
Huh. Well, there are no pages, right?
Oh. I thought we seeded the database with some pages.
You did.
But there's
And
no
it's
error
packing the
update
other
attributes.
one.
Yeah. I'll just try that at the console and assume that's page. Find.
Should I put a debugger in here?
Yeah. Page find by link. Update views. Oh, there isn't an update attribute. Oh, maybe there is. Yeah, update attributes.
It says it's a nil class.
Oh,
I think
it's saying it can't. That's saying so. It's saying it can't find page a permalink.
Yeah.
Does that mean we've? That's odd. Page all.
Us. Permalink 4. Finding it here. Do we need this reset column information thing?
Yeah, haven't we? I thought we had it in the right place, but maybe not.
Where do we have it?
We have it.
In the spec? Yeah, in the spec.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we need it in the migration. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Alright, page dot reset column information. And then should this be page should receive reset column information?
Yeah, that's almost, yeah, definitely. Oh, you definitely need to reset the column information in the migration in the test, because I'm not sure you would need to. Well, in the start of the test, you need to do it, because that is because you've done a down migration and taken away a column.
Let me read again what this does. Resets all the cached information in the columns, which will cause them to be reloaded on the next request. Just after creating a table, you want to populate it with some default values. This creates a table, resets the column information, and then creates a record for each thing that it wants. So we're creating the records here. They already exist in the database, right?
Yeah, they do, but they only have two columns.
So we're adding a column. It's not finding it. Why?
Have you run it now with line 4 in place?
No. What's bothering me is that it's saying it's not saying it's not finding the column. It's saying it's not finding
It's not finding update attributes.
Oh no, it's not finding the page. So I do page dot find by permalink. Here it finds it. It said it wasn't finding update attributes for nil class.
It hasn't. Oh, I see. Yeah, for nil class, that meant it didn't find it. Yeah, it didn't find the column. Yeah, so it works there. I reckon you fixed it.
Undefined method update attributes for nil class.
Again?
So in here, yeah, and it's not that it's not finding the column. It's actually not finding this.
So which test is that failing, or which line in the spec is it failing on? It's failing on 37. Which is... Oh, right.
Oh,
It's
is
just
that
not
my
failing on our, where we're debugging. It's failing on previous example.
Okay. Okay, adds the link visible column.
Oh,
That page
well,
is
let's see some pages for this one as well. Oh,
yeah.
no, let's not though. Let's leave it failing.
Okay.
This will fail for the same reason that line, the pending spec at line 46 would fail because 404 doesn't exist in that particular test case, which is fine.
Okay.
It does care. All of a sudden it does care. Now we've made 40 pass. We've made the program care about whether 404 exists. So do you want to commit it, ping it over to me?
Sure.
And I'll have a go at getting rid of the next bit of red.
It's disturbing that there is no change here, that I didn't save it.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Should I try it one more time? Just more.
I'm going to fail for a different reason. Maybe it's just that you'd already saved it.
No. Alright, what did I do here?
Is that a failing on a nil class? No, it's a
disaster. It's a typo. Page everyone 10 syntax. Alright. Oh. Just pretend you didn't see that.
That's why I prefer Emacs. No, in second thoughts, push that up there, but oh, you got the debug.
I didn't hear what you said after. You want me to take the debugger out?
I have to go, so I will suggest that you commit and push and
okay.
Either carry on with it, ask somebody else to join the Hangout, or carry on with it on your own, or move on to your own project.
Let me find the debugger.
I don't think I'll be back for some time.
Okay. Sorry.
All right, thank you for doing that.
All right,
I've learned a lot by doing that. I hope Sam finds it useful that this migration is now more automatic. But I didn't even know before I started that you could just write Ruby to do stuff that you need to be done.
Yeah, neither did I.
All right, see you later.
All right, see you later.
Am I recording this or are you recording it? You're recording it, right?
See
you later.
Okay, bye.